So a lot of people ask if that gas is included with the rental car. Well, absolutely not. So stay tuned. I'm going to give you the afterthought of that video when it comes to rental. I'm going to explain a little bit more. Got a couple people I talked to, going to mention their name, all that. So like and subscribe, and let me explain a little bit more about what that episode was about. Thank you. Alright guys, so this is going to be an afterthought video of basically that rental thing. I've had a lot of people ask me questions about whether or not you got to pay for gas, different things like that. So I want to kind of go a little bit more detail with some of this. This is a person I got off of Reddit. He gave me permission to use his name. So he asked some questions. His name was Uber Pro dash, or not dash, but under dash 2023. So that guy was asking about, oh, well, when I used to have to rent through these other companies, they paid for gas. Well, you got to think about it like this. We'll use that 10% person that charges 10% and they have a $100 deposit, right? Well, if they're going to pay for gas, they're only taking 10%. If I only work like 34 hours or whatever, I make $900, they're only getting $90. Now they're letting me rent a Tesla for that price. Yeah, I don't have to fill up gas, but I still got to pay for charging. That still costs money. Why would they pay for that when they're only getting $90? That's why you've got to really look into it. It says 10% $100 deposit. It looks super tempting when you got somebody offering 30% of take and $700 deposit. Yeah, you're like, oh, you know what? I'm going to take that. That's only 10%. But what's the contract? What's it going to cost you? How many hours do you got to work? How much money? There's probably a minimum you've got to make it worth that person letting you rent that new Tesla, drive it around, put miles on that car to only take 10% and a $100 deposit. Wow, if you deem the car as $100, they're not really getting much out of it. It probably costs them more, but they have insurance. Depends on context of what happens. So I'm trying to show you guys, like, I do interact with you guys. I do read the comments. I do care. It takes a lot of time to do all this stuff, and I make a lot of sacrifices doing all this, but I really want to help you guys. If you guys see on Reddit, you'll start to see a lot of people try to copy some of the stuff I do. It's more clickbaity, it's more outrageous claims to try to get you to click. I'm always transparent. I'm only showing you, look, I don't make this much money because I take time to do this. But if you use these things and you're working more than I am, you'll probably make more money. But if you do smart, if you work smarter, not harder, it's going to help. But the reason about I did this with the rental things is because of the fact that these people are going to prey on you because you have bad credit. Maybe you have a bad car. Maybe you're just thinking, you know what, I don't want to put the miles on my car. And that's a good way to think. But at the same time, you've got to really take a step back and look at it. That's why I did that. Now, if you get a rental car company like Avis or Hertz like I did, I got to pay for the gas. Now, they do pay for maintenance. If there's something that happens, they're going to pay to fix it. They are going to do that through an approved vendor that you have to go to. I had to do an oil change, stuff like that, but it is time consuming. You have to go through a process, but you still have to pay for gas. You're gonna have to bring that car back when you're done with it full, or at the same amount of a charge, or at the same amount of the gas level. They're not going to pay for your gas. They're not making money. You've got to look at it from their point of view. They're a business. They're trying to make money. But what they don't understand is how hard it is for us drivers these days to make money driving, let alone starting off in the hole when I'm using your vehicle and I have to pay you a certain amount, or you're paying me a set amount of money per week, when I'm going to have to slave and drive to do all this to make that kind of money. Like I said, 5 years ago, that might have been a pretty decent, tempting option, which they probably weren't even around back then. But they haven't adapted with the times. They don't drive for Uber. They don't know how it is. They don't care if you know how to drive. They don't care. All they want you to do is take all the rides. They want you to make a minimum amount, which I'm guessing now. I don't have these contracts. I wasn't able to sign up. They're not going to let me sign up, so I didn't even bother trying. Eventually, I might try to. I did try to contact them. So when you got somebody that's offering 10% and they're offering a $100 deposit, and it actually looks pretty tempting, or actually looks like a pretty good deal, and then you contact that person telling them, look, I think you got a pretty good deal. I would like to do an interview. I want to explain more in context, all that, and they don't get back to you. Now, that person might have different motives for not not want to be on camera, but they could have released a statement. They could have done it different ways to where they weren't worried about being on camera and this or that, to where they still got what their side of the story across, compared to, you know, me just doing my side and actually putting it out there and showing, like, I don't think that's a good idea. I don't think you should do it. Now, if you had to rent because of something that happens, just do it through the rental company, but don't get a Tesla or nothing. Like, don't worry about the bonuses. They're not worth it, but it's going to be a headache. You're not going to get a decent car. The people before you didn't take care of it. That's why I'm trying to show you this stuff, is because you guys really got to take a step back sometimes and look at stuff. If it looks good, why is it good? Maybe you haven't been driving for a while, they offer you this crazy bonus. That's like considered a unicorn, but it's not going to last long. But if you could take advantage of it, definitely take advantage of it. But some of this other stuff, yeah, you're thinking, you know what, I don't have to use my car, all that, but they're definitely trying to prey on you. They're definitely trying to make money off you. They're definitely trying to run a business. Think about how many cars they have listed. They got like 6 or 7 cars. Those are Teslas, and these high-end cars, those are $60,000, $70,000. I forget the exact prices. I don't know what years they are, but you got to get my drift. There's a lot of money that they invested to put that fleet out there. Then they're trusting you to go drive around with it, but they're banking on the fact that you're going to be in a hole. You're going to keep working because you're going to try to dig yourself out of it. You start with good intentions, then you get stuck in a hole. You ain't got no choice but to keep doing it, because you got to work more just to try to dig yourself out of a hole that you basically cannot climb out of. You're getting deeper and deeper. That's why I put this out there. That's why I'm trying to show you guys that. But I also want to show, that's why I put that person from Reddit's name on there. I told him, hey, can I use your name for permission? I wanted to go in more context what he was asking me, because I want to show you guys that I interact with you guys. I read the comments. I do care. I don't just put videos out there to try to get a bunch of views. I'm not even getting a whole lot of views all the time, but I'm trying to help you guys, especially the new people. The one thing about Reddit, I do get a lot of people from Reddit. I send you guys to my videos. Why? Because you guys ask a lot of the same questions. I still sit there and try to answer them. I just can't really post links because they automatically delete it, spamming, whatever. And I understand that in a sense, but at the same time, I'm trying to help you guys. I'm not trying to scam you guys. I don't like that stuff. That's why I put this stuff on here. My next video is going to be kind of focused on the riders. I want to show you guys that, look, yeah, I do try to teach people to catch surges and do all that, but we're not really costing you more money. Uber controls that. We're just trying to make sure we get a better cut. There's only certain ways we can do that. That's not always guaranteed. Even when I did the airport trick, I'm not even sure if that charged the people more money, because sometimes there could have been more people landing. Uber just raised the rate. There is different ways as a rider that you can get around for paying too much money. You can always cancel. You can always wait it out. That's on you. We don't control the prices. I'm just trying to teach these guys how to make some money, what stuff to avoid and what stuff maybe you can do and how to do it. That's my whole point of this show. The whole point of my channel. I want to help you guys. I'm gonna interact with you guys. I do read the comments. I do appreciate everybody that takes the time to watch these videos, to like, to subscribe, to reshare, repost, whatever. I do appreciate all that. And then I've had people in my car that look like they're filming. I don't know what they're doing. I got it on dash cam. I'm not stupid. I know I can catch you, but at the same time, I don't really care because I don't have anything to hide. I'm still doing everything I show you guys, but I'm probably doing less because I'm doing these videos. But at the same time, like I always say, I'm making sacrifices to get this stuff out there. It's an investment. I got things I'm trying to do. I'm trying to work towards a goal. But that's another thing, is sometimes stuff pushes you in a direction that might not seem like it's a great direction, and if you stick with it and if you do it, it might end up being a better opportunity. You just don't see it at the time. That's what I'm trying to do with this. I'll explain all that in more detail, but I just want to show you guys, when it comes to the rental, they're not gonna sit there and pay for your gas. They're gonna sit there and make you work a lot of hours, because you have to make so much money to make it worth their while. If they're taking 1%, you're gonna have to probably work a minimum amount to make that money. And then if you're paying gas and charge, you have to take every ride. You're driving all over the place to pick up people for pennies. That means you got to make more trips. You're basically going to be working full 12-hour days just to sit there and make the minimum that they want to make it worth their while to let you use that car. And then at the end of the day, you're taking home nothing, hardly anything. You're basically better off working at McDonald's or another job. And I don't use McDonald's as a bad thing. I'm saying is just working another job somewhere else, getting paid by the hour. That's the main thing, guys. always tell you, listen, keep your day job, do this on a part-time, but do it smart. You can make good extra money. I only do it full-time because of what else I'm trying to do. I got an advertising business. All that stuff's slow, but all these people in Jacksonville can tell you, I'm still driving around with it. I'm still doing it. I'm still trying to do it. Every time I've run into a problem, I figure out what that problem was and I try to fix it, and I try to do something different. I pivot to a better strategy. That's how you learn. I'm not perfect. I'm a human. I'm just like you. I have the same issues. I'm broke. I'm struggling. I'm trying to do it, but I'm going to still do it, because if I don't, then I lose, and then I just wasted all this time. But if I keep going, I have nothing to lose, because I'm in the same spot I'm already in. So I do appreciate you guys liking and subscribing. I just wanted to go in more context that these rental companies, they're not going to pay for your gas. They're going to make you pay for it. The private people, especially the fixed income, I mean, that's kind of crazy. You're going to have to at least make double that in order for them to make it worth their while for them to pay you that. They might even prorate the amount they pay you based on how much you made, because you didn't meet a certain standard, you didn't do so much. There's going to be a bunch of fine print that you're going to see in that contract that you got to pay attention. I just wanted to bring it light. I just wanted to show you guys that. I'm going to go home. I'm going to edit this like real quick. I got to go drive around. I got to make some money, but I just want to show you guys I do interact with you guys. I do care. I do like when you guys sit there and ask questions, because I do try to answer as quick as possible. And also, if you want to come on and do an interview, if you've been in an experience of some of this stuff I made, let me know. DM me. We can FaceTime. I can Zoom you, whatever. We can do a phone interview. I will never show anybody in a bad light. When it comes to the companies, that's a little different, because they're preying on you, take advantage of you. Yes, I'm going to expose that. But when it comes to actual people, passengers, or drivers, I'm not going to sit there and show you in a negative way. And if I am going to use an example of something not to do, I'm not going to show you or use your name or anything like that, because I'm just going to say, well, hey guys, don't do this, blah, blah, blah. Maybe you didn't know, but that's what you guys, you don't have to worry about that. I'm not one of those drivers that use all this dash cam footage and post it on YouTube. I'm not doing that. As a rider, you can trust me, I'm not doing that. When it comes to these videos and drivers, you've seen with Uber Black, I put them on there. It took me a long time to get those two people to talk to me. So I'm committed, I'm persistent, and I'm gonna keep being consistent. So like and subscribe. I just want to answer some of those questions, give you a little bit more context about renting. It's not the greatest idea. If you have to do it, I suggest you do it through the actual company. Even then, it's going to be hard. And then these other people, they're not businesses, they're not cab companies, they're not like some of the companies we got here in Jacksonville where you pay per day to use the vehicle. These are people that are making you, they don't realize that the rates from Uber have dropped. So for you to make so much money, for them to actually make money is a lot harder. So hopefully they see this and change their rates. Whether they do or not, I don't know. Probably not. But at the same time, there's nothing I could do about it. The only thing I can do is warn you and tell you what I think you should do and what you shouldn't do. I break it down, give you examples. That's it. I just want to thank you, the Uber Pro 2023, for messaging me through Reddit. I just told you, hey, I appreciate giving me the permission to use your name and stuff. I just want to show the context. You were asking about the questions with the gas, stuff like that. I just wanted a little afterthought for you guys to know that you're going to have to pay for gas. Now, they might pay for an oil change. If it's a Tesla, you're probably not going to get an oil change. But you're going to have to read the fine print. You have to read the contract. You're going to have to do a certain amount of hours. You got to make a certain amount of money, or they're just going to prorate it, because for you to make $900 but then pay you $1,000, that doesn't make financial sense for them. So you have to take a step back and see you're probably going to have to double that amount to get paid that amount. There's going to be something behind the curtain that you're not looking at. So that's why I say don't do it. If you got to, do it through a rental company. Otherwise, thank you guys. Have a good day. Like and subscribe. I do appreciate it. And I got to go drive around, try to make a little bit of money. It's Wednesday. It's not that busy. But hey, thank you guys.